think that the time that we're in right now is so big. I think it's really exciting. All I've seen are the people on my team, the people on our calls, myself, the people in my life move into a shift where the love that's in your heart is becoming the boss over the prisoner that's in your head. And there is a false masculine and there is a true masculine. The false masculine protects itself from the truth. The true masculine protects the truth. Okay? And if you don't have a connection to your heart, the protector is protecting whatever it can to keep the heart out, right? So you'll have your heart start to say something and the mind will kick in and go, we shouldn't talk about that right now. Maybe it's because of this thing, let's go over there later, and we do what we can to not feel. And I feel on the team these shifts that have been happening that happened actually at our meditation retreat. Like the meditation retreat started an entire new division on our team. It started new ways that we do things. It shifted Carrie. I mean, Carrie stepped into a new role as the Carrie godmother. Carrie has always been incredible at everything she's done. She's always been amazing. But something happened at our meditation retreat where someone was going through a massive, almost a birthing of a release. And it was trauma, and they looked like they were giving birth and getting stabbed at the same time. And I knew that it wasn't my place necessarily to come in, and I was there from a distance, and I held space, but I was like, we need Carrie. And Carrie somehow got guided and became a space and healed and created a space for this woman to release, like a doula, like a birth assistant, and was guided. Carrie was not there, and God was there. Goddess was there through Carrie. And I watched Carrie be held and picked up by something beyond her, and she created a space for this woman to release. And Carrie realized that's her dharma, that's her role. And she stepped into this mother energy versus this combination of mother-father that is there, but also was making sure things get done more than the space is held. And so I started realizing how much I also needed that on the team, and we started actually bringing on people that are incredible mothering energies, because sometimes I'll be depleted at the end, and I realized I need that space, right? So there's people in my life that have been that, and we've brought onto the team that have been incredible spaces. In fact, one woman that now works on our team, who's been a best friend of mine for 30 years, is a birth assistant. And so I'm bringing her to events, and she's being spaces while people are birthing their new story. And when you feel fall apart, imagine if you were giving birth but didn't know a baby was coming. You'd just be pointing out the pain. There'd be no reason to do this, and you'd be insane. But you have to know that whenever you're feeling pain, something's trying to birth itself. A new business is trying to birth, a new way, a new purpose, a new reason. A release of the old business is trying to birth itself. But if you didn't know that a baby was coming, you'd just be focused on what's wrong with me, why am I feeling this pain, and you're looking at what is leaving versus what's coming. And I want to just offer you, as you're feeling things fall apart this week, old ways of doing things, security, false marketing tactics, old strategies that aren't you anymore. And if you're feeling pain, that's because you're focused on what's leaving versus what's coming. And if you look at the world collectively right now, you can see things are falling apart. So what's coming? What's coming? And I'll tell you one thing that's coming. Love is about to dominate. Love is about to dominate. You can feel the low consciousness of the repression losing its ability to keep things down. And you can feel the truth of love is just right here. And for some of us, it flipped. It flipped for the whole team. It's flipping for people that are around me in my life. It's flipping for people on the calls. You guys are the first wave of people that it's really for sure hitting, where love is guiding your decisions. And the mind that used to stop love from happening is now working for love versus running from love, repressing love. And you're going to see it, whether you're a man or a woman, the false masculine is about to become the slave to love. And it will have to do and protect love versus protect from love. And so this actually affects how you run a business, which seems so petty to talk about, but this is your business. And we're going to look at how does your business express truth? on your website? Does your business express truth? Is what you're doing, are you aware of what you're doing from a love perspective, or are you selling the false masculine of what you're doing to get something versus actually understanding it? A great example, if any of you were at the first E-Shift, I think everyone here was, Pam is a doula. And she thought she was, selling infant massage, but she's actually selling connection, right? You're selling connection. Do you know that? Are we presenting that on how we market ourselves? Do you feel that you're presenting connection, or is it something that's not organic? Is there something in your business that's not organic? But if you're an entrepreneur, the number one thing you have to have is a connection to your intuition. You have to have the guidance that can come through. You have to have your antenna up. You have to be able to say yes to what is coming through. You have to say yes to the possibilities of a new paradigm. So after the meditation retreat, I said, we need these new feminine energies in our team. And that was a breaking point for everyone on the team because we had to have a new way of doing things. So a lot of egos had to get hit for a minute, including mine, to be humbled and say, like, I can't hold that space when I'm walking off the stage, that I need someone to also hold the space for those people, those kind of things, right? And have someone be a space for me, right? And so everyone on the team, we hit a wall, and then they went through a shift, and we all did, right? So there's emotions that happen, but I had realized we have to be doing new things on a new paradigm, and they were a little call that's a little portal, like, what if you brought this in? So to give you an example, like, I was actually thinking of bringing someone on the team. It came as a guided thing. This woman, Angie, who's been my friend forever, and she came with me to this event, and all of a sudden, she held space for the people that were falling apart. And so when I had a break, I could leave. And then she'd bring me food. And I was like, this is crazy, because if you know me, you know I don't leave. I don't leave the thing. I'll stand here all night and meet everybody and totally realize, like, in a week, I didn't eat or pee. I haven't peed. And then I go pee for another 5-day event of me peeing. But I realized I need this, and it sounds so, why would that matter with business? Like, oh my God, it's the most important thing to make sure that I'm able to receive at the level that I'm giving, right? So to bring someone on, so I brought her on, she comes with me, and because we were flowing so easily, I had the intuition to say, we have another meditation retreat coming in May. What if Angie, like, opens up the square and I offer it, and the one time I meet everybody's at the end, and then if they want to come to the meditation retreat, they can. Well, I gave Angie $1,000 to come, and Angie brought in 20 grand. Not bringing Angie would have cost us $20,000. I mean, the money will go to the meditation retreat in Asilomar, and I'll see about $3 of it, and after taxes, I owe money. But the point is, not having help would have cost us at least $20,000, let alone all the exhaustion I might have had and the lack of content that could have come through because I wasn't held. If you can feel the conviction that's in my heart on a higher level, it's because it's being reflected to me from higher spaces. When I talk to people that are a space of love, I notice that I'm better at speaking, which means if you're a space of love for me while I'm saying this, you're hearing you talk also. I actually can't access this place without you, so you're hearing you talk right now. So if you're in a place of possibility and love and receiving it, I can actually do better, and you're hearing yourself talk through me. That's what true love is. If someone pulls in your heart and you're speaking poetically, the person across from you should know they are involved with this. Right? You can't say this shit without that person, right? So they're talking to themselves through a space of love. So why is this so important? Well, if in the next month, you can feel, I don't know if you guys can feel, I sure can, that this feminine shift or this love shift is hitting so hard, and you can feel it. I feel it happening 10 times bigger a day than the day before. Our dialogue is so fast and so loud. We're bringing up stuff that's been repressed forever. We're saying it. People that are in denial of it are louder and more crazy. So the right? The ego that's in denial about what is true has to be so cartoonishly ridiculous. That's why we elected it, right? It's just, no offense if you love him, I know there's some good things about it. In fact, that's what's speeding up the uprising, I think. But we elected our darkness, right? And now it triggers in us our own darkness, right? And there were 2 darknesses. No matter what, there's all kinds of different darknesses, whether it's a shadow government or an obvious, false, authentic ridiculousness, whatever it is, there's an uprising, and the darkness only needs light to heal it. And it has to stay hidden to make it dark. So something's rising in you, and all you have to do is see it. There's nothing in you that's actually dark, but you running from it as a habit is what makes it feel dark. So why is this so important? Because a lot of businesses have a lot of darkness in them. They have a lot of manipulation because they don't get that they're enough. What you are and what you can flow as, you are a world changer. You are a world changer. And if I say that and you don't receive that, check out what story in you is denying the ability to receive that you are whatever, an Oprah, a Marianne Williamson, name it, Mr. Rogers. You are that. And if there's a part of you that says, not me, because you're still clung to the denial of your past versus the possibility of now. And as the light gets brighter and brighter, we're going to have constant choices to either hold on to the past story of what we thought we are, or the infinite rocket ship flow of the power of what you are right now. But what's great is the collective is moving so fast that it's getting heavier to hold on to the denial. And you have to either become crazy and addictive and nuts, or you become totally free. And if you're here, I would have scared you away if you were more in the side of your head by now. Right? So if you're here and you feel this uprising happening for you, know that you can be in the cutting edge, not only as a human being, but in what you present to the world as a business, as a possibility, as an entrepreneur. You're going to be ahead of the game. Not that there's even competition, but you just ahead of what's coming for you to really thrive. If your business is in a false masculine, it's about to collapse. Structures are about to collapse. Structures are collapsing. In other words, what do I mean by structure? Ways to do it. Strategies. Holding on to each other as a denial of truth. Right? These are structures, right? Control is a structure. Just keeping things down is a structure. You are the possibility, and you have to actually move through a way that the universe will tell you minute to minute. It's going to say, I got you. I know that it's very insulting in a way for me to tell you I'm about to do a 5-day event, and there has been literally no preparation on my part for the event, but that would be a structure, and I can't do this as well that way. It's a guidance that's talking, and I'm trying to meet you in your guidance. And the more structured I am, the more I actually will not be in the authenticity of what the teaching is. But you can feel that it's coming through, and I'm talking to your heart much more than your strategy. And I want you to know, you're going, well, how do I implement this? The heart is encoded with all the strategies. There's a ton of strategies in your heart. But it needs you to first feel through something. It might need you to let go of something that happened when you were 5. It might need you to actually take a bath. It might need you to get a massage. It might need you to forgive something. It goes, before we go there, you got to do this first, because many people are so been bombarded with the world of you need to strategize this way, and when you make a video, it's got to be only 3 minutes, and there has to be this, and say this at the end, and here's how you upsell. So before we even undo anything, we're sitting here going, I'll do it this way, while we are denying the full load that's on our bodies, the false cement vest. This vest that still has the pain from a childhood wound or a possibility that is not there because you're protecting. So you're sitting here strategizing sales from this vest. In other words, like, no one's going to like me. Okay, I'm going to market this way to prove they will like me, when you don't realize under that you're just love. So it's fixing itself, which acknowledges itself as true. And we got to go past the cement vest. We got to go past that, and you can present it in how you speak, but you got to make sure what you're speaking from is here. You got to speak from your pain. You got to speak from that deeper place that's not in your head. You got to speak from your vulnerability. In other words, the time of I have all the answers is gone. It's much more I'm learning the answers as I go. The time of I'm going to teach you and you're a student and I'm a teacher is gone. The time of my product is the answer to your problems is gone. It really is falling apart. You're going to see a massive fall apart. Now, will there be some businesses that thrive on strategies and manipulation? Yes, but only to a very low, lingering denial of consciousness that will eventually be gone. I really believe it's not going to be possible. So think of it this way. As I've said many times and in my book, fear is ice and your heart is water. And imagine that we've got a collective stove burning and the water is getting warmer. And so the lingering ice is grabbing each other as hard as it can, but it's still melting. Overall, it's melting. And what does ice need to melt? Isolation. It's got ice in it. When ice is finally isolated and you're alone in nature, or you're hearing talk from hopefully what feels like a burning pot right now, when you're hearing that, hopefully it melts the ice quicker. But ice needs other ice to survive. So ice can a lot of times go to a collective that goes, we strategize this way, we do this way, we manipulate this way, and then because you have to numb the fact that you feel bad that you're manipulating so you can get something. So if you can feel 5 other people also okay with it, then it's okay. You are this boiling water, and I promise you that the ice that's going on in you is going to fall into the infinite pot of heart-based water that you are. And what we want to do is, first of all, on day 1, allow the speed up of that, because there's innovation on the other side of it, and it's never been able to get through because there's been ice there. But I can tell you that it's starting to really make itself obvious to me, and I see how amazing everyone is. And there's innovation, creativity, and flow that is dying to come through you. That is a world changer. But first it needs you to let the remaining ice melt. So it might be through crying. It might be through owning something that hurts. It might be through whatever. But understand, as you do that, you're birthing a new you. That was a crass visual. But you're birthing... What if I acted that out way too long? I'm like just screaming and crying and like, we need to take him to the hospital. Like, okay. So, but you're birthing a new you. So realize when you feel pain this whole week, you're just birthing a new you. I want you to be in the space of what's trying to come out. You have much less of a problem screaming about the pain coming because you know you're doing it because in a few minutes a baby will be in your hands. But most of us don't know that, so we're screaming about the birthing pains, not understanding it's for a reason, and then we just focus on the birthing pains versus push, I got you, I'm on this side. So there's a new you birthing. What the hell is birthing? It's something that's bigger than the mind can see. The mind can only see based on what it's seen so far. So the only evidence you have, you look, is it like this, is it like this, and you're comparing, and the mind is looking for something that it could feel familiar to versus feeling something you've never been before is coming. So receive the idea, as I keep throwing it at you, that you're a world changer. Screw making a 7-figure business. Let's change the world. And accidentally, as a byproduct, it's 8 figures. But we're circulating it. You don't need the giant bank account. We need the flow. Are you with me on that too? We need the flow. We need to take it and put it into our creativity, put it into loving charities if they call to you, donate them. We don't need a giant stack of money to sit in the bank. Your business will fall if you just hold a bunch of money, especially in this time. I know you have evidence that that's not true because in the 80s, the light was less bright. So you could hoard a bunch, and you could also have a lot of other darkness in you that you didn't have to feel about because the consciousness of the light in the past wasn't as bright as it is today. So I promise you, the hoarding part of us is about to fall apart. It's calling more contribution. It's calling more flow. It's really exciting. The hoarding part's falling apart. So if you are just sitting here, how do I get a bunch of money? Don't make that the goal anymore because as money comes in, you're going to flow with it. You're going to invest it in your creativity. You're going to invest it in other people that need it. You're going to find other people that are reaching for their own light, and you're going to offer it to them. You can see there's a conscious shift in you giving to someone else that's going through their thing. You are a world changer. Receive that. Do you receive that in every cell of your body, or do you hear a part of you that goes, yeah, but? I know that you're receiving and it feels good in the mind, but do you notice how the body is kicking in? The nervous system might kick in. Maybe for some, awesome, Lori's receiving it fully, and either way, it's awesome. But are you receiving the possibility that you are an Oprah or whoever your heroes are? Are you receiving that? Or do you feel it's hitting a wall? And both ways are fine. Whatever it is, it's fine. We don't want to bring denial in. If it's hitting a wall, it wants to show you something. It wants to show you something you haven't let go of. If you deny that and go, how do I get my business good? You're skipping ahead. You're going too far, right? If you go, I'm not because blah, 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 okay, it's showing you something that you haven't forgiven in the past, or it's showing you something you haven't loved about you in the past. It's showing you something new. So if I say you are a world changer, that is going to trigger some because they feel unseen from the ego that goes, no, you don't know my shit. If I say you're a world changer, do you actually feel like that's a normal truth? Do you feel like that's an exciting truth? Like I'm not worthy of that, so I'm going to step into it, but it's still not me? In other words, like you're a high school senior, but you're in whatever 11th grade, and you're going, I think I am, and you're going to go into it, or is it just normal? Is it something you receive? Like it's starting to be normal to me. It sounds cocky, but I also want you to know you are too. But I feel like I get it. I'm here to change the planet. Easy. Got it. Do you receive that too? Do you receive that you're actually here to change the planet? Change the planet by fully owning your shit and releasing it and moving the collective consciousness of love way bigger, way faster. The light of consciousness is getting so bright that no darkness can live in it. And it's just throwing tantrums and in denial and funny. It's funny how ridiculous it is, right? And it's just getting so ridiculous and cartoonish, whether it's literally a figure we see moving from full ego, or it's inside of us. Its way of outwitting is hilarious. Like in a celebratory way, while also still honoring the real pain that's coming up. It's hilarious what your mind comes up with to outwit yourself, right? To outwit this thing coming up. Do we see it and love it? So when I say you're a world changer, I'd love to hear from you. Is there anyone in the room that receives that as the norm? Not from a denial place. Yes. Yes, and it's okay if you don't. So we have 2 right there. Awesome. 3, 4, 5. Whew. Beautiful. Who goes, not me, in your body because I have a thing? Raise your hand if you have that. And that's fine if you do, because we're going to look at that too. Beautiful. All are perfect, right? Who thinks when they raise their hand on the first one, there might have been an ounce of denial in it? And it's fine if you didn't. I'm just curious if we have, even in the deepest place. And if it's not, that's great. Beautiful. So, okay, if you didn't raise your hand, what's yours? Tell me what yours is. Yeah.
Mine is it's unfolding, and it's a possibility.
Beautiful.
That's good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Mine is I thought I knew what I was going to do, and then I've changed my tune, and I have a little fear of not being what, like, will something ever really be? I do feel I'm the type to be a world changer, but I'm so lost with not knowing what that is, so I'm
Yes.
somewhere in between.
Yes. So, and what if that's part of the process to world changing? It's giving you an unknown so that you have to go to the known. And the known is inside of you, right? So when we can't figure something out, we go, I'm okay with uncertainty. Actually, you're a step closer to certainty. Because there's one place there's certainty, only. When you get $1 million, you don't have certainty. You have a false sense of security that could totally go away tomorrow. When you get in a marriage, you don't have certainty. You have a false sense of security that could fall apart. Totally awesome to have money or a marriage, no problem with that. But if they're your form of security, they're your certainty, then you're never certain, because what if someone takes it from me? What if it leaves? Even with billions of dollars, you could totally be insecure because your security is not inside of you. It's outside. It's something that could be wiped out tomorrow out of the bank, or someone could rob, or whatever, right? So you don't have certainty even when you call, okay, my mind can't see this, so I'm in no. Okay, fall in love with not knowing. What if a step closer is actually you're closer to knowing, right? So imagine what you're letting go of as an analogy I used at the meditation retreat is we're used to the first floor and we're getting on an elevator. Now, when you're in an elevator, it gets dark, it's a small enclosed room, and you can't see anything familiar, right? And then it goes to another floor, but you have to go through the darkness, you have to not have any idea where you're going. I wonder if my pants will ever stay up. It's just a thing. I'm certain that won't happen. I've never, ever watched footage of me later and been like, pull up your pants. Like, It's always happening. They're always falling. I just keep losing weight. And then, but when you get in an elevator, it's totally pitch black, or it's whatever's in the elevator, but you have no vision of what's coming up. You have no idea. And even though the door's here, that doesn't mean it's not about to open. That doesn't even mean there's not another side right here. I'm not here now, right? You don't think Kyle left if you see this. You understand I'm on the other side of it. Well, you, in your perceived darkness, you're not knowing of what's on the other side. The elevator is in the middle of taking you to a new floor. Yeah. And we have to fall in love with the elevator just as much as the, quote, answer, the new purpose. Your job is to learn to be love even for the I don't know, which actually is I know. Right? The elevator. You're in the elevator if you're not clear on your purpose. And your purpose better be changeable because you're also the elevator, not the floor. In fact, what I heard, the most authentic thing I could hear out of that is I feel lost because I don't have my purpose. And I said, right, you're leaving your purpose, and maybe right now that's your purpose. And I just pictured a book called Leaving Your Purpose. Like I just pictured you being a speaker for people that perceive that they should have a purpose and how they're limited to the level of their purpose versus the incredible expansion of what they are, right? What if we could have permission to not be attached to our purpose? What if we could be able to flow and move in a new way where we're not attached? I mean, that is so exciting to me. It's not only exciting, I think it's groundbreaking. I've never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's a new level of consciousness because one of the things we're here to do is help people let go of their attachments and connect to the truth of what they are.
So, leaving your purpose instead of finding.
What's that?
Leaving your purpose. Leaving your purpose instead of finding your purpose.
So leaving your purpose instead of...
Finding it, because
Yes.
that's what we're always
You cannot find anything you're looking for.
Right.
Did you hear that? You cannot find anything that you're looking for. Check that out for a minute. Real shifts that you've ever had in your life, real breakthroughs. Was it ever the answer to the question your ego was seeking, or did you get blindsided by some weird takeover, right, that showed you something you didn't know you were looking for? We had someone on our 7:30 calls 2 days ago, on the calls, say she's trying to figure out what her purpose is. She's going to do this way with her business and this way. She kept doing it, so she meditated and realized she had a deep-rooted fear of being alone. She had no idea that was going to come up. And then she went out into nature, connected to her soul, and then saw this vision of a funnel as herself as a funnel, and everything she keeps putting into it, it keeps emptying out the bottom. And then she cried a bunch more, and the funnel put a bottom on so that she could have a home in her heart. That breakthrough was not something she could consciously find. It shows up in a way that we can't see. So just so you know, if you're finding your purpose, you're not able to receive your purpose. If we make a video, that's the stopping point. We could just fade it out right there. Receive your purpose.